What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to a newer segment that I do on the channel called Bad, Good, or Misunderstood. This is the segment on my channel where I talk about movies that are either absolutely terrible, so bad they're good, or completely and totally misunderstood. And this is going to coincide with another segment I do on the channel called Nate's Favorites, because this movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. And with it being Pride Month, this is a movie that I feel like helped me sort of come to terms and embrace my identity and just like embracing my weird side and my authentic self and all of the elements that are a part of my queer identity that I think are so incredibly important that shape who I am as a person. And this is a movie that when it was initially released was absolutely despised by critics. This movie was completely and totally hated. People said that it was one of the worst movies ever created and put to screen. And as time has gone on, if you're familiar with the Rocky Horror Picture Show, over time there have been midnight screenings of this movie, and it has developed an immense cult following, even to the point where I think the Letterboxd aggregate score average for this movie is like a 4, which is incredibly high. It's become beloved by people, and I think so much of the hatred that existed towards this movie was because of how overtly gay it was. I mean, this movie really embraces the queer identity that it showcases in a very transparent, fun, excessive way that I love so very much. I wore my John Waters t-shirt today because I feel like Rocky Horror incorporates a lot of what I love so much about John Waters' work, which is like being unabashedly itself. And that's what makes this movie so incredibly special. And I can't wait to tell you about it today. And the movie I'm going to be discussing with you today is The Rocky Horror Picture Show. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is directed by Jim Sharman. After getting a flat tire, two sweethearts discover the eerie mansion of a flamboyant scientist and a house full of wild characters. Through elaborate dance and rock songs, the mad scientist unveils his latest creation, a perfect muscular man. So, like I said, I adore this movie. This is easily one of my favorite films of all time, and there are a multitude of reasons for that, and I cannot wait to tell you about it today. So at the beginning of the movie, we are introduced to Brad, played by Barry Bostwick, and Janet, played by Susan Sarandon, a young couple who are attending a wedding, and the wedding ends, and the two of them just profess how in love they are with each other, and they can't wait for their relationship to continue to the point where Brad proposes to Janet. And so the two of them are driving home after this wedding is over, and they end up getting a flat tire near a dead end somewhere. Well, of course, they see a castle in the distance, and Brad says, "Hey, maybe we can go make a phone call there and have someone come out and pick us up and fix our flat tire." And when they get there, they are greeted by a wide array of individuals, and the head of the household, Dr. Frankenfurter, played by Tim Curry. And the entirety of the film is this young couple interacting with Frankenfurter and the group of misfits that live in this home, and the musical numbers and dances and the wild circumstances surrounding this one evening involving a creation that Frankenfurter has created, which is a young, muscular looking man by the name of Rocky. So as I said, I absolutely adore this movie, and there are a number of reasons for that. Number one, performances in this movie are incredible, and Tim Curry as Frankenfurter is possibly one of my favorite performances in a movie ever. I love him in this. He is so just commanding of each and every scene that he's on screen. It's not just the outfit choices, but it's the bodily movement and the facial expressions and the line deliveries. Obviously, I See You Shiver with Anticipation is like one of the most iconic moments in all of film, in my personal opinion. But there are a ton of moments in this movie where his comedic timing is so very brilliant. And I just love watching this movie for his performance. I think that he is so absurd and ridiculous and just truly wonderful. And one of the things I love is obviously the character, very overtly queer in a way that I think is so important to this particular time period, not just with like the gender bending outfits, but there's the scene where like he goes and sneaks into Janet's room and then he goes and sneaks into Brad's room. And I think like his comfortability with his identity and just the way he kind of commands a room, there's like a lot of power to that performance. And even though like, you know, you see him as this horror icon, he's just so incredibly likable. Like it's impossible not to just love this character because of the absurdism and the confidence in that performance. And I just truly love everything about Tim Curry in this movie. And his singing voice is just fantastic. I love every song that he sings in this movie. There are so many iconic moments from him, and he's truly incredible. Susan Sarandon and Barry Bostwick both do an amazing job with their characters too. They're kind of just like the airheaded couple that shows up at this place where everyone in this house is very different than they are, and I think they're the perfect contrast to the weirdness of Frankenfurter and all of the different people that live in the household. And they have some really iconic lines. Obviously, if you've gone to a midnight screening, you know the way that they approach the scenes with Brad and Janet. But I just think that both of their performances just add to the movie. Another real standout for me is Richard O'Brien as Riff Raff, like one of the most ridiculous, insane characters in a movie, and just like his appearance throughout, and then what his appearance looks like in the third act, just truly, truly incredible. And Patricia Quill and Nell Campbell both too. I could go through every single actor in this movie, and they just provide so much because each and every character has such a distinctive quality to their personality, which is what makes the movie so much fun. I also love the way this thing is shot, the cinematography and the editing. There's so much personality in the visual style in this, and that's also a lot due to the production design and the color palettes in this movie. It's so vibrant and beautiful, and like the reds are a very deep color. The moment where Rocky comes to life and Frankenfurter's like twisting those knobs and all the colorful liquid are coming down into like the container that he's in. There's just so many visually striking moments, or like the Medusa machine that turns people into stone. Like you can tell when they were coming up with the concept of this movie, despite the fact that the plot is absolutely ridiculous and nonsensical, there was a lot of attention to detail in particular set pieces and how this particular thing is going to look. And I think visually the movie is incredibly captivating. And that's another thing that makes it a very easy watch. The musical numbers in this are some of my favorites, period. I know I've said it before, I'm a huge fan of musical theater. I have been my entire life. This is some of my favorite music in any kind of musical, whether it be stage or film. Obviously, Time Warp is like a classic. People love it so very much. But I don't think that that's the only song in this movie that really stands the test of time. I think Tim Curry has so many incredible musical moments on this. And there's just so many songs that are just hilarious. Like, when Susan Sarandon does Touch It, Touch It, Touch Me, it makes me laugh every single time. Like her delivery and the way that she kind of plays around in the scene, just truly hilarious. I love when Meatloaf does Hot Patootie. Like I've always loved that so very much. I Can Make You a Man's great. Sweet Transvestite is like iconic. Like Tim Curry in that particular scene, just absolutely amazing. Tim Curry singing I'm Going Home. Like I could go through each and every song in this. And the reason why I love it so much is because each song has such a distinct personality, and it's so playful and fun and entertaining and enjoyable. And like I said, when you look at the movie as a whole, I understand why it was so despised at the time that it came out, because obviously, like I said, it's very overtly queer, but also the plot is incredibly nonsensical. It just feels like things happening. But the thing is, each and every scene is so ridiculous and absurd and catches you off guard in a way that it's just impossible not to find some sort of joy and entertainment. And I feel like even if you don't love this movie, it's a movie that you'll never forget because of the iconic performances and the dedication to the musical numbers and just everything about it that makes it so very special. And I have had the opportunity to see this perform with live actors that like act out in front of the screen and then people throwing objects at the screen. And it's just brought together this such amazing community, especially in the queer community. Like I said, with Frankenfurter being such an incredible sort of queer character that like presents with confidence and badassery and just truly is one of my favorite characters in any movie, period. And this movie never fails to bring a smile to my face. I love it so very much. And I think that if you're a fan of film in general, this is a movie you have to see at least once in your life. I've seen it probably 100 times, but I think like if you've never seen Rocky Horror before, Pride Month is a perfect time to check it out. So have you seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I think this movie is absolutely incredible. It brings me an immense amount of joy every time that I watch it. And I think if you check it out, you'll find something to appreciate with it. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.